Hey, what's up, guys? It's Khalid. Today's December 1st, 2020. So, I'm going to be starting my first vlog. Um, really don't even know what to say, what to do. Y'all got to help me out here, man. Y'all got to help a brother out. But the point of it, I'm just going to jump right in, is to document what it's like being a poker player and how it helps supplement my life. And hopefully I can make a career out of it. I mean, I'm getting out the military soon, so it's do or die time right now. It is definitely do or die time. I mean, I will be going to school too, in case my parents are watching. But I'm excited for this new journey. It's definitely scary, but as they always say, the journey of 1,000 steps starts with one step, or some weird stuff like that. Anyways. We're here. I'm ready to put in this session. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm gonna hit the felt for a little bit and show you how I do things. How I be balling on the court. You know what I mean? But after that, hopefully, I have some good results to report back to you guys. And if you like more of my stuff, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Would be much appreciated. And so jumping right into it, a couple hands into the session, I looked down at Ace of Diamonds, Queen of Spades. Pretty good hand, so I decided to open to $10. Folds around to this guy on the button who's a loose aggressive player. He's been known to have all sorts of hands. I've been playing with him for a while, so he raises it up to 32. I call 32. I'm not really wanting to bloat the pot or anything like that. So it's just me and him heads up to a flop that comes Queen, 6, 7. Queen of clubs, 6 of diamonds, 7 of hearts. I decided to go ahead and just bet out here since I'm out of position. I do have a really strong queen, but he could have queen himself with a much weaker kicker. He could also have draws too. So I want to definitely charge those things. So I decide on a sizing of about $40. He quickly calls, so we go to a turn, which comes the 4 of diamonds. Brings another draw out there. This time I decide to bet a little bit more. I bet 60, but he decides he has other plans, so he decides to put me all in. I'm happily call, and I show down my hand. The deuce of clubs peels out on the river. He says, "Bro, you're good," and we win from there. He does show the 8, 10 of diamonds though, so he did have a gut shot, and then he turned a flush draw. So this next interesting hand, I have the Ace of Hearts, 7 of clubs. I'm on the button. There's only one limper ahead of me. I decided to go ahead and raise since I had been super inactive for a while. I raise it to $30. The small blind, the big blind, and the under the gun limper all call. So it's 4 of us to a flop, which comes 10, deuce, 3. Seeing as I had a pretty good read on the table, I could tell that the first 2 players were disinterested in the hand already, so they looked like they were ready to fold. They had completely missed. And interesting enough, the under the gun +1 player decides to lead for 20. To me, it seemed really weak, and I had seen him do this before with a really, really small pair. So I could just tell he didn't really want to play. So with all that being said, I decided to go and raise and make it look really strong right here, make it look like I have a big pocket pair, maybe even trip 10s. So I raise it to 65, and the small blind, big blind, and the original better decide to fold, and we just take down the pot with ace high. So this next hand, I'm in the small blind. There is an under the gun open to 15, and actually like everybody calls, and it comes all the way back around to me. So seeing as I don't want to play this hand multi-way into a pot I'm trying to isolate, I decide to raise it to 75. And crazy, I didn't mean for it to be like this, but somehow, some way, the big blind folds, under the gun folds, middle position folds, hijack, cutoff fold, button fold, everybody folds, and I end up stealing a pot, it was a pretty big pot too, considering that there was about 7 callers. So 7 times 15, whatever that is, my math's not too good, but I take down the pot without even seeing the hand. But that's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. So here comes the big hand of the night. I got Queen of Diamonds, 10 of Hearts. I'm in the cutoff. A player from middle position opens up to 15. I decided to go ahead and call. I was a little bit worried at first, and I thought about folding, but then it would have been a little bit too tight. So with all that being said, I make the call. Small blind calls, big blind calls. The flop, though, is not good news. It comes Ace, King, King. But I'm just ready to give up at this point. I mean, I'm already disinterested in the hand because I mean, there's possible full house out there. The player in the small blind, he decides to check. Big blind checks. The player I was worried about, he checks as well. So I was like, all right, well, I'll take this free card. I decide to check. Turn card comes a jack. Bingo! We hit a straight, but I'm still not too crazy about the hand. So the small blind, he checks again. Big blind decides to lead out for 50 bucks. The player I was worried about, he only calls the 50. So 50 is a lot, but it's not too much. I decided to go and call, seeing as I do have a made hand already. I call, and the small blind calls as well. The river card comes a 5. Small blind checks again. Big blind bets 50 again. The player I was most worried about folds, so I felt a little bit better about calling this 50. I didn't want to raise it at this point because I didn't know what the small blind was going to do. And all of a sudden, small blind, he raises it to 150. The guy who originally bet 50, he's like 150. He makes a scene and all this stuff. Then he calls the 150. And it's just, I'm at a decision point here. You know, I'm like, man, this is really tough. They could have any King X holding right here. One could be bluffing. One could have a king. I think about it for a while. Man, you know what? Double check my hand. I decide I'm just going to go ahead and call. So I call the extra 100, and here we are. I mean, you guys can see for yourself. I actually take it down. So I have the straight, and small blind, he has king deuce. And then the guy in the middle position, or big blind, he has king 8. And we take that one down. Shortly after, I decided to go ahead and cash out, call it a day. I had been there for about 6 hours, and so, I mean, time to go and lock up this session and get my ass up out of there. I also got to eat dinner too, man, so look like a little bit of dinner money right here, eh? What a session. What a session, ladies and gentlemen. Barely made it out with the skin on my elbows, the skin on my knees, the skin on my lips. That shit was rough, but I'm glad to say that we came out alive, and we did pretty good. I was into the game for $300, and I ended up cashing out $1,213 after about 4 or 5 hours. So not too bad. I mean, if you guys definitely enjoyed the vlog, you know, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe. If you want to see more content, or if you even have any suggestions for me, you know, help me out. And hopefully I can continue to do this for y'all, and for me too, and for my family, you know, because Lord knows, you know, we all need money. Money make the world go round. But yeah, thanks again. Thanks for watching.